Beautiful downtown Montreal, where it was an annual rite of springtime to gather for the Stanley Cup playoffs. But as you know, it's been a while, 4 years as they get set for Boston and the Canadiens. Meantime, if the feeling's good there, it has to be doubly good at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. It's been an 8-year wait for the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Islanders and the Toronto Maple Leafs coming up. Welcome to a big night of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll start with a glimpse of the Molson Centre in Montreal. The Boston Bruins and the Canadiens play Game 3. The Habs won Game 1, 5-2. The Bruins won Game 2, 6-4. 3 successive years out of the playoffs for the Canadiens. That matches the number of years they were out entirely for 58 years previous. They'd missed in 95, 1970, and 1948. Tough times are over for the Canadiens, and they get set for the Bruins. Meantime, on Long Island, where they won consecutive Stanley Cups from 1980 to 83, and a big part of the rivalry back then was the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're pumped to see Game 3 of that series. This is the only undefeated team in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Toronto. So as much as the emotions are running high for the fans in both cities, the Islanders know they have to find a way to score some goals and to win. It's a big night around the NHL, as I mentioned. Those 2 games are Games 3 of series. There are 6 in the Stanley Cup Playoff Derby tonight. The other 4 games will be Games 4, always considered the most crucial or swing game in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Later on this evening, we'll be on the air from GM Place in Vancouver, eager to see how the Canucks react to Game 3 and a defeat on home ice. The Detroit Red Wings back in that series. But that's for later. When we come back, we'll split up the network. Viewers in the province of Quebec. And don't forget, the French network has this game in its entirety. We'll send you to Montreal, where Steve Armitage is there with John Davidson and Don Whitman, Scott Oak, Bob Cole, Harry Neal in New York for the rest.
In goal, number 35, on the bench, number 3, also on the bench, number 29, starting on the wing, number 17, Sean Bates. At center, number 79, Alexei Yashin. And on the right wing, number 37, Mark Harris. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps, as tonight's colors will be presented by the NYPD Ceremonial Unit. Also, please welcome Jeff Herbst as he sings the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard over thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
now please join New York City Police Officer Carl Dixon as we honor America and its armed forces with the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose first stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free. And the home of the brave.
Oh, yes. We greet you from New York. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal. 16,234, that's capacity jammed in here. Curtis Joseph stopped 44 of 45 Islander shots in the two games in Toronto. His 13th career Stanley Cup shutout in Game 2. Chris Osgood has allowed just 3 goals in the first 2 games. That's on 55 shots, folks. So he's not the problem. He's just fine. The referees tonight, this is Bill McCreary, the senior of the two. Shane Heyer is with him. Tim Nowak and Pierre Racicot are the 2 linesmen. Starting for Toronto will be McCabe and Carberlay. Sundin Roberts, Corson starting on the wing with him. Yashin, Perry speaks for the New York Islanders, Sokoyan and Johnson on the blue line. The Islanders have to win this one, as the cliche goes. They're down 2-0 to the Maple Leafs. 2 games here, tonight and tomorrow. And in is Yashin with the first shot that will be blocked at the defense. Then thrown into the boards in the corner. The line, Yashin ripped the high shot. And that catching club of Curtis Joseph appears to be just fine as he snares that one.
Well, it looks like Peter Laviolette has said, because he had a chance to see who the Leafs were starting, and they started Sundin and Corson. He went to Yashin and said, I'm putting you out against their best player and the guy that's driven you nuts. Now do something. Alexei Yashin is being challenged right to the hilt by his coach, and why not?
Playoffs not his favorite time, it seems. Just underway at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Long Island, New York. Maple Leafs coming out of the zone. Pass through center by Berg is stopped at center ice. Johnson poked it ahead. It goes by him again as the Leafs shoot it in, and they come after it. That's McGillney putting on the brakes at the side of the net. Mishandle the puck, trying to stick handle by Adrian Aucoin. High shot is wide of the net. Berg will keep it in.
Gilney just watched it go by. Tucker falls behind the goal. It's ripped high on the glass. It does get out. Isbister couldn't move it. Pekka in his own zone. Rink-wide pass. Comes all the way back to center ice. Now Janssen. High one this time. Bouncing down near the leaf line. And the shot by Scatchard is wide. Here's Scatchard playing it up as far as the line. The Leafs nearly got caught on the change with the extra man on. Fans thought maybe the first penalty of the game would be called. Kip Miller lost it at center ice. Reichel played it back inside his own blue line. Maple Leafs having trouble here. Gavash's shot, and that too is steered away from the Leaf net. Near the line, Domi picks it up at center. Pass gets in, all right, drop back, and a long shot is stopped by Osgood, his first of the game. This is a great hockey crowd, you know that, since their Stanley Cup days. They're in the 1-4 in a row. Crowd was great, and here comes the first penalty of the game. It's got to be against the Islanders, you can tell, as the fans are blowing that call, and Hamrlik is back to pick it up. And it's a penalty against New York Islanders.
After Mike Milbury's public rant about the refereeing in Game 2, he better be careful. I remember when I was in Vancouver, I got upset with the refereeing and said too much. After the third penalty against our team in the first 8 minutes, the referee smiled at me and made his point. And here's the penalty. Scatchard gets his glove up in the face of Hoagland, and for that, he'll get 2 for roughing.
2:16 the time of the first penalty of the game. Toronto in this department not good in the series. They're 0 for 10. 4 chances in the first game and 6 in the second. And here's the first in Game 3. Just underway, coming up the 3-minute mark, and no score. The Leafs go after the first one. Puck is shot in, broken up by Lapointe. Back down the ice in the lead zone. And Jyrki Lume is number 25 coming back, and Sundin circles to his left. Out comes Lume to center ice. Gets the zone okay, had to play it on the boards. Janssen stopped it, and then he was hit by Roberts on the forecheck. What a hard hit, too, on Janssen. Slow getting up, and now heads off to the New York bench. 1:15 left in this power play for the Maple Leafs, getting to center. Shot to the line to Hoagland. He gave it away and is played back down the ice. Pilash is going off. Carberlay is on, and he takes the puck behind his own goal. Out he comes. Clear path for him. Up to the line and backhands it in. The Islanders have 4 abreast right across that blue line. Watching Carberlay come in. And a harmless shoot-in. On the boards, Pekka. Coming away with it. He took a look and he saw somebody coming up with him, but decided to throw it in wide of the net anyway. Bounces for Joseph, wide of the goal. The penalty has 35 seconds left on it. Tucker shoots the puck in for the Maple Leafs and is bowled over doing that. And the Leafs get it. Tucker gets set. A shot stopped by Osgood. A weak shot. Nevertheless, he had Osgood moving. Now Janssen backhands it away down the ice. 15 seconds left on this power play. Islanders are going to kill it off. A point kept it in. Killing time now. Blake shot it off the boards to the corner, and now the penalty is over. Scatchard is on the ice. The crowd cheers. Icing called against New York. Our first update is from New Jersey tonight. Here's Ron.
Bob, thanks a lot. The Carolina Hurricanes leading the Devils 2-1 in games as they play Game 4 at East Rutherford, and a bad start for the Hurricanes. Minute 16 into the game, first blood, Sergei Brylin to Bobby Holik, his third of the postseason, has the Devils on top.
Well, the penalty killing starting off great again. That's 11 in a row, and they got the puck the length of the ice 5 times on that penalty kill as the Leafs could not get in the zone. And if they got in the zone, they couldn't control the puck, and that's been the problem for 2 full games in the first part of this.
Counting 11 times now on the power play for Toronto, and nothing happens for them. Although they're up in the series 2-0. The 2 wins on home ice, 3-1 and 2-0. Little damage to the net behind Osgood.
The hole that the pipe's in, that the net fits on, looks like it's too big. So they're trying to fill it in with snow and do a little watering of it. You can see one of the reasons is that they don't want the goaltender's skate going underneath the net and into the pipe. And then he loses the edge and he can't stop and start the way he'd like to. Pat Quinn had an interesting time listening to Milbury's reaction to Game 2. Maybe Pat will put a tape together of all the good calls he saw and bring in the media to look at it. Here's what they both said in a war of words that'll probably have no effect on the outcome of this game.
No score in this game yet. We're heading for the 5-minute mark of period number 1. Islanders in their own zone. Hammerlick bumped off the puck. Hard forechecking by Corson. Penalty will be called against the Maple Leafs. Shane Corson. Now Joseph has left the net. What's happening here? The Islanders are going to get one too. Or maybe that's it to Hammerlick.
And Bill Pritchard, keeper of Lord Stanley's Cup.
Shane Corson and the fans in the building thought Corson got the penalty. As you see it unfold here with the hooking, and then finally Hammerlick stumbles away. Hammerlick gets the penalty, not Toronto.
Holding the stick, he held it under his arm.
So, it's Toronto's second power play, and the point brings the puck away to center ice. He wants to keep going with it. Blake was up with him, but covered. Good work by LaPointe. Getting away from the hit from McGillney. LaPointe, he plays the puck even though he's down. He's not out of it. And the referee, Hire, calls the play.
One more penalty of the Islanders, and that'll be the end of the rants. It doesn't surprise me, the reaction. Face-off will be outside because Blake fell on it. Cleverly and McCabe have led the Leafs in ice time. They are combined +6 and have 3 points between them. The Leafs defensemen over the course of the season had 142 points, and these two guys led the team in that department.
Islanders win the faceoff. Trying to kill off yet another penalty. The 12th of the series. No score, first period, Sundin. Trying to solve the checking New York Islanders. Couldn't on the first attempt. Second one, the pass went by. McGillney drops it back. Here comes Robertson. Sundin behind the goal. He gave it away to Janssen. High one. And over the boards at the Islanders bench. Therefore, the faceoff will come inside the New York Islanders blue line.
Pat Quinn had to make one lineup change. Gary Volk is in. Renberg is out. Renberg's had a long stretch of hamstring difficulties. Of course, Yuskevich and Cross are out. The Leafs sent Ponikarovsky to St. John to play tonight in the 5th game of a 3 out of 5 series that's tied 2-2 against Lowell.
And they're in Lowell tonight for that 5th game. Winner moves on. Loser is gone. Face off to the right of Osgood, and it comes near him, but cleared away by the Islanders. Boy, they're a good penalty-killing team. Or, well, you've got to give them credit, though.
Yeah, you do.
Toronto up. Sundin over the line. Pass to an open side, and look at it. Cleared back out to center ice. No score, nearing 6 minutes. 45 seconds left to play. Cave is bumped by Jason Blake. Cave gets the puck and comes out for Toronto. Hits his man with the pass. Gilney rubbed out on the boards, but continues on. By the center. Again it comes to him. Back to the point. Pass to Carverlay. And it goes to Roberts. Backs it up behind the net. Islanders have it. Can they get it out? Oh yeah, they can get it out all right. The center ice, and Blake moves all the way. Gives it to Janssen. He's going to get a shot. And it went high over the net. Penalty has 12 seconds left. Toronto can't do it on the power play. One more chance. Up over the line. It's golf to the corner, around the net. Back up to this man. Green down. Up the line. Long shot. Stopped in front. Another one coming up. but it's drifted off to the side as the penalty to Hammerlick expires, and there's Pekka with Hammerlick. Pekka, rink wide, Tchaikovsky shoots right on, and Curtis Joseph hangs on to this one. A lively start for this home crowd in Long Island, New York.
At Montreal, the surging Canadians have the first goal against the Boston Bruins. Saku Koivu in the slot will take the shot. Donald Adet here feeds Koivu, and then a great redirect with his skate. Yannick Perreault scores his first of the playoffs. It's 1-0 Habs.
Great story for Koivu, great story for Montreal. They're trying to beat the Bruins at home. Here the Islanders want to get back into the series against Matt Sundin and the Maple Leafs. Leafs leading, winning the first 2 games at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, and they're up to center ice on this rush. Tucker's centering pass easily picked off. Cleared out by Van Imp. Tchaikovsky in the backhand. Misses Joseph. In behind the net goes. Islanders have it. Centering pass at the side of the goal. Van Imp tries to center. He's attacking with Tchaikovsky. Van Imp went down. Over there is Mark Parrish. Back to the line, and Green was there to get it out for Toronto. The Maple Leafs move it up over the line. That's Tucker. He'll get a shot away. No, he passes. In front, score! What a play! And McGillney had the open net to give the Maple Leafs a 1-0 lead, and Tucker looked for sure like he was going to shoot, and Osgood had moved on that fake. And he made a great play, and then the second pass, and McGillney scores the goal.
The Islanders got trapped, and they allowed a 3-on-2 rush, and it was perfectly executed by the Leafs. You can see the 3 Islanders trapped, and it looks like the rush is kind of breaking down, but nobody pays attention over here on the wing to the late man in the rush, and then he slides it back to McGillney, who's got Osgood right out to lunch on the late pass. Tucker makes the first good one. Coverley to McGillney, 1-0 Toronto.
The Leafs draw first blood on McGillney's goal. That's his first in these playoffs. Islanders attack right away. Joseph had to knock it away, and there's going to be a penalty called against Toronto. It's a holding the stick rule coming into effect again. I think that's what it will be against Pilash. Yes, it's indeed another holding the stick infraction against Pilash of the Maple Leafs. Islanders now down 1-0 to Toronto. And their first power play of this game. McCauley and Walt bring it up over the line, and Walt gets a shot. He missed the net by 2 feet on the far side. Down low. Islanders regroup in the zone. McGillney got the goal from Tucker and Carmelay at 7:32 to give the Leafs a 1-0 lead. They now enjoy, but for how long, we'll see. Up comes Volk to slap it down across center ice again. And Hammerlick has to be careful with McCauley right behind him.
The Islanders are 1 for 7, Bob, on the power play in these playoffs.
Hammerlick steps up, comes to the line and gets the pass through. Hard shot by Bates is gloved by Joseph. He'll slow the pace by holding it. More action in Montreal. Again, here's Ron.
Bob, thank you. A power play for Montreal goes badly. It's a shorthanded goal for the Bruins, and they were sharp in this regard all season long, and Brian Ralston was one of the keys, and he sets up the goal for P.J. Axelson, his second of the postseason, 1-1 there.
Let's have another look at the Leaf goal. McGillney on the end of a lovely passing play that Tucker started when the Leafs had a 3-on-2, and Carberley jumped in the rush to make it a 4-on-3. And he's in the clear. Nobody takes McGillney, and he's all alone.
8:41 into the first period here in Long Island. The Leafs lead 1-0 on that goal. Power play now for New York. Inside the line, they spread out to try and set something up. Here it is. The shot was wide, though. The coin was set up perfectly and shot the puck wide. Big shot for the boards. Coin steps in, doesn't get it at the goal mouth. It'll be cleared out by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Corson just lifted one away. Goes off now. The penalty killers change. 40 seconds left to kill. Down the wing is Miller. Went in deep and then put the brakes on and got it back. Again, he shoots it to the corner, but Cumberland stopped that pass and shoots it the length of the ice. 25 seconds. In the penalty, that's all. Toronto leads 1-0. They're killing this one off. Coyne who had that nice chance a moment ago, shoots it into the glass now. And again the Maple Leafs get their stick near it. Lume didn't move it out though, nor did McCauley. Islanders get ready to pass it around. Penalty is just about done. Saka shoots it in there. Penalty is over. Pilash is on. He's up at center. And Lume didn't see him early enough to give him a break. Shot it in by him. Under 10 minutes left in the period. 1-0. Toronto. McGillney, his first goal of the playoffs. This is Blake. Stopped at center. This is Hammerlick. Hammerlick again from McCoy. Rink wide. It's tipped over center ice and on the move. A point! Joseph is looking sharp in the early going in this game. Big burst of speed by LaPointe. Joseph stopped him.
Curtis Joseph makes a nice stop on LaPointe, who walked between the two Leaf defensemen on this rush, which should never happen, and gets a pretty good shot away, and Joseph makes the save on the one-on-one situation.
Toronto 1, New York Islanders nothing. Boston is in Montreal. It's tied in the first period at 1. And Ron is watching that for us. Islanders win the draw. Give it away inside the line. Leafs move it to center. Reichel dumps it into the left of the net and back quickly. Blake slapped at it. Hammerlick moved it ahead. It's intercepted and shot is stopped by Osgood. Hogan came up off the line quickly and intercepted that. A pretty good chance. Reichel backs it up to his own zone. Back up to the head. Islanders back. Hammerlick lost it. Leafs come in again on that giveaway. Hoagland and Reichel couldn't put it together though. There goes Jason Blake again, speeding in. With the shot. Joseph got a stick on that. Made the save. Cleared off the boards and down the ice again. Hoagland from center. Just dumped it ahead. He's headed off. Hammerlick had to back up. He had Corson forechecking him. Sundin giveaway. Stopped by Osgood. What a chance for Matt Sundin with a big giveaway inside the line, and he was just taking off for the net.
Cairns had a cranial vapor lock here. Look what he tries to do with Sundin right in front of him. And Sundin tries to go between the legs and can't get it. Osgood, who makes a nice save to bail out Cairns, who made a lazy little pass with two Leafs. Not only Sundin, but Corson in the passing lane. They got away with one.
Very big save by Chris Osgood with a score at 1-0 Toronto. Sundin and Yashin. Islanders will bring it to the line. Harry Sternbach. Sundin nearly caught him. New York moves it out. Johnson. A giveaway really down the ice. It could go for icing, and it is. Call back to the Islander zone. 8:10 left in the period. Here's Scott Oak.
Bob, thanks very much. The numbers of six greats from the dynasty hang from the rafters here at the Coliseum, and here's one of them, Mike Bossy. Mike, what's it mean to have your team back in the playoffs?
It's great for the fans. It's great for the guys. I think that the Islanders have put together a team this year that is very competitive amongst the league, and they deserve to be where they are today.
Mike, there wouldn't have been 4 cups here if you hadn't fought through checking in the playoffs. Why has Alexei Yashin been unable to do it, do you think?
I've been, you can study and watch as much as you can, but what it comes down to is just, it's a cat and mouse game. You got to get away from your checkers, and you just got to work until something happens.
Thanks, Mike. Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Bob, and a lot of things happened for Mike Bossy, let me tell you, when he shook a check or two.
Shrugged his shoulders, and a 95-mile-an-hour shot came off his stick. Boy, he could score.
What a beauty around the net. Some say probably the purest ever. It's a large statement from Mike Bossy. Face off in the Islanders zone. It's 1-0 Toronto. 8:10 left in the first period. Toronto wins the draw. Blume stepped away from his check. Cuts out front of the net. Tried to jam it in on the short side. Osgood stopped it. Butt from the line. A shot deflected. And Osgood couldn't get his hand on that. Didn't matter. O'Coin takes it away. O'Coin flipped the pass up for Janssen, and he ripped it from center ice. Missed the net. Joseph will cover up on this. Shots are even, 6 apiece. And the Tempers get a little frayed maybe early in the game.
Steve Webb kind of half-heartedly tried to dig the puck out from underneath Joseph when he throws it coming off the end of the rink. And of course that always attracts a lot of attention from the teammates of the goalie. That this happened. It really wasn't a serious attempt to pull it loose, but pretty tough to convince the Leafs of that or Webb. Webb's been a real physical player for the New York Islanders.
16,234 in this old building, a sellout. This is the 22nd sellout tonight. Last season, listen, they had 4. The home opener, Bill Torrey night, great GM, and 2 New York Ranger games.
They averaged 14,200 this year. That's the most since 87-88. So the franchise is alive again.
But they're trying to win their first game of this playoff series, the best of 7. Scatcherd went in off the wing. The net is off the moorings. Joseph was down to stop the puck, and they'll do it all over again.
Scatcherd, one of the more physical forwards, hit 12 goals this year, 111 minutes in penalties. He's a big guy at 6'3", 224. And going in to these playoffs, he had 5 points in the last 3 games the Islanders played. 42 wins for the Islanders this year. That's the most since 83-84. So they got a lot of good record this season. Morrison back out, and he's looking the Sundin line into Yashin.
From Tucker and Carmel at 7:32 of this first period. The only goal of the game so far. Maple Leafs on top of the Islanders, 1-0 in Game 3. 2-0 in the series. Leafs jumping ahead to the line. Coin fired a shot through the crowd and missing the goal. Leafs get it back out. Coin backs up. Sundin was on him. Corson forechecking in the center ice area with Roberts taking the puck with Sundin. And coming in. But he's checked. And checked carefully. Islanders get it back out on the boards to center ice. Yashin trying to go for it. He won't get there. Berg was there ahead of him to Corson. Kamasha stopped him, but the puck went by and down the ice again. The Leafs are changing. Janssen turned. Scatcherd tipped it. Down the ice though. That'll be an icing call again against the New York Islanders with 6 minutes and 55 seconds left to play in the first period.
You can see that the Islanders, one of their team's strengths was goals for. They were 5th in the NHL. But they can't find the net in this series, and the Leafs have done a nice job in front of a very enthusiastic and loud crowd of not letting the Islanders get much done except 2 good penalty kills. And this crowd is pretty quiet compared to the way they were when the game started.
Travis Green and Mike Pekka. The latter winning the draw. Behind the net, Hammerlick. Covered by McGillney, the goal scorer of the game, the only one so far. Down the ice by Isbister. Got in over the line of Pekka, was drilled in there by Green. Pekka nearly picked it off, however, in front of the net. Green tipped it out and went after it. Up over the New York line. Off the skate, comes back out. The Islanders shoot it down to Isbister. Hammerlick trying to catch up. Isbister! Got in there and hauled down. And Joseph stopped the puck, but a penalty is called on the Maple Leafs. Isbister showing that great speed again, coming off the wing. Nearly had a great chance, but he was foiled, and the penalty comes because of it.
Well, Belak, I think, was the man that took the penalty. Isbister got to the outside of him, and he's a big, strong guy, and he gets that 1/2 step. And Belak had to haul him down to prevent the chance on goal. Travis Green really got a hold of Mike Pekka with a little of his own medicine. Here is Pekka, one of the better body-checking forwards in the National Hockey League. But you're not going to discourage him.
Number 2, Ray Belak. 2 minutes for holding, 2 minutes on sportsmanlike conduct.
Belak gets an extra 2 for unsportsmanlike. Did he say something to him, you think?
Yes, I think he did. And I don't think it was very nice. So he's got 2 minors, holding and unsportsmanlike conduct at 13:35. 6:25 left in the period. And Toronto has a 1-0 lead. Now a chance for New York. They're 0 for 1 in this period on the power play. Let's see how they do. 4 minutes. But think about it. I hope not. 4 minutes, of course. Janssen through the middle. Shot into the zone. Carmelet makes his man on the boards base. Islanders get it back to the point. High over the glass. Hammerlick was waiting, but it's out of play.
Well, one of Alan McCauley's main contributions to the Toronto Maple Leafs this year has been his penalty killing. He's got a real vivid defensive imagination who often gets his stick in the passing lanes. And here in games 1 and 2, 2 guys that haven't scored a lot this year have scored to help their team get a 2-0 lead in this series.
5:58 remains in the first period. Toronto has drawn first blood on the McGillney goal from Tucker and Carmelet. Back at 7:32. Beautiful passing play by the 3 Leafs. Lume, slow clearing. Islanders get possession, now gets it. Hammerlick moved it ahead. That's Bates. Waits, Hammerlick gets open near the blue line, but he goes deep with it. Centering pass, Joseph looks around. He went through the crease. He couldn't find it, and the Islanders do. Fed ahead by Hammerlick around the goal. That's Yashin coming forward. It'll be kept in there by the New York Islanders. Yashin got loose, but then he was covered. Got it again. Back to the line of Hammerlick. Running, shooting. Joseph said, score! Joseph stopped the first one, but it was wide open. And Mark Parrish drills it home and lifts into this crowd.
Oh, baby! A coin with the bullet shot from the point that Joseph stopped, but there was a rebound. And 37 Parrish goes to the front of the net when he sees the puck's going to the point. And Berg does not take it. And he snaps the rebound in with a 10-footer. There's the shot. There's the initial save. And Parrish between 2 defenders puts it in all alone.
It's a 1-1 tie. New York remains on the power play. That goal scored by Parrish before the first minor was over. Belak, remember, got 4 minutes. He's now serving his second minor. The Islanders a chance to go ahead. They finally got a goal in the power play. Hammerlick shoots it again to the crowd. In front of the net, scramble. Hammerlick once more. Didn't shoot, he's covered. McCoy plays it off. Pass intercepted. McCoy made a good play to keep it in. They're in on top of Joseph. A shot is stopped. And the Maple Leafs are going to throw down. Shot away by Tucker down the ice. 4:40 left in the period. A 1-1 tie. Parrish is tied the game. Islanders move up with the extra man again. Over the line. Here's Yashin coming away with it. Yashin backhands it over in front, and that was a giveaway. And shot away and down the ice. Parrish from Hammerlick and Yashin with the goal scoring play at 14:34. We have 4:15 left in the period. Game tied at 1. Crowd back in it. For real. Leafs covering well now and clearing it back inside the line. Islanders move up, led by Sean Bates. Here's Janssen. Janssen didn't waste any time, but that wasn't fast enough anyway. Still offside.
Well, let's have another look at the goal. Parrish makes a nice play behind the net when he realizes the puck is going to the point. And good goal scorers, and Parrish got 30 this year, go to where you might score from when you don't have the puck. Aki Berg and Jyrki Lume, both there. Neither one of them tied Parrish up, and they paid the price as he scores a power play goal.
In the penalty, 30 seconds. Curtis Joseph had gone 128 minutes and 37 seconds. And shutout hockey in the playoffs. In this best of 7 series. But Parrish ended that at 14:34 on the power play. On the power play yet as Kabasha moves in. Big Kabasha gets it on the boards back to Hammerlick. Into the corner. Kabasha is there trying to drive it off the boards and does. Kabasha trying to play it back out. Hammerlick couldn't stop that. It was high and all the way down the ice. Penalty for Belak is over now. Leafs at full strength, but the game is tied. The strength of the power play on the New York Islanders. 3:10 left. Here's Kabasha. Backhand. Can't get the shot. He comes up front. And the Leafs recovering in front of Joseph. What a big play by Kabasha. But he came up empty. He went up a little bit too far on his first attempt. But then circled the net. And then had another great chance. He just missed. Hammerlick. He had a corner back there. High one lifted down across the Leaf line. No icing. Lots of time for Berg to play it. He does. 2 Islanders are in deep fast. Shot on the boards. They keep it in for a moment. A point up the blue line. Good job. Lume knocked down in front of the net. Bird hit by Steve Webb. The crowd loves that. Webb is a big favorite here in New York. Point. Shot it from center. Here's Webb. He gets hit by Domi. And the two of them hit again. Behind the net, Webb trying to jam it in on the short side. He's flattened again at the side of the net by Pelak. Webb is getting a going over in there on this ship now. Long shot in front of the net. Scramble. Penalty coming up. Pelak is going to get the penalty for cross-checking. We'll be back. The last minute and a half was something. Bodies flying everywhere. And Pelak draws a cross-checking penalty. So the Maple Leafs will have to kill this off now with only 1:46 left in the period. The game is tied at 1. Islanders have tied the game on a power play. Janssen tapped it up off the boards in deep. That's called on the offside.
Well, the penalty to Pelak was a result of some real superb work by Webb. 6 feet 208. He plays like he's 6'6", 308 on this shift. That wasn't the call. The referee lets him have that one. But there is the one that caused the 2-minute penalty. And Webb had a terrific shift as he nails Lume. And when the Islanders forecheck physically, they cause problems.
Hammerlick cleared the puck in this time. McCabe falls. Gets back up and chases his man in the corner. And pounds Bates in on the boards. Bates shakes that off and gets the puck. Bates trying to back it up along the boards and does. Comes back to him. Here's a shot from the other side, and that one missed the net altogether. Kept in, though, by New York on the power play. 1:05 left in the period. That's Bates again. Centering it right in front of the net. Perry had another chance. And another penalty is going to be called, but this time it'll be against the New York Islanders. And I think it'll be their goal scorer, Parrish, who's going to get it.
Now he clipped McCabe in front of the net, and the question is it 2 or 4 based on whether McCabe is cut or not? Let's have a look at it. As the puck is bouncing, McCabe tries to hit it, or Parrish tries to hit it out of the air, misses, and hits McCabe right in the face for a 2-minute penalty. Accidental high stick. As you can see, the puck was up there, but you have to control your stick.
The Islanders now have 17 shots in this hockey game. Now that's more than they had in all of Game 1 when they registered 14. They had a slow start in this series in Toronto, only 14 shots. Lost the game, of course, lost the second one. But they're tied in this one. We're in the final minute of the first period.
And the shots at one time in this game, Bob, were 6-5 Leafs. So it's been all Islanders since they got into the power play.
Belak penalty, the 4 minutes started that. They scored while he was serving the first 2 minutes. And that tied the game. Toronto will wind up this period on the power play. They hope not. They hope to, of course, score, but only 38 seconds left in the period. The Islanders play it out smartly across the line. They get it in. Drilled right on the net by Kamasha. Stick save Joseph. Sundin stumbles, got back, and got the puck out. Islanders bring it in. Janssen feeds it back. Pekka shot. Gloved by Joseph, and there's no rebound for Janssen, who came in very, very close.
Well, 4-on-4, one of the dangerous players in this situation is the defenseman if he jumps into the rush, and that's exactly what Kenny Janssen did. Pekka takes the shot, and number 29 in white is going to the net. It's bobbled by Joseph, and it sticks under his left pad for a second, and Pekka knocks it in, but well after the whistle.
My apologies. Parrish joined Pilash in the penalty box. Pilash not out yet. He has 20 seconds left. That should wind down at the end of the period.
The Leafs will start the second period on the power play if there's no further penalties in the last 17 seconds of it.
Face off again, deep in the zone. 15 seconds to go. Flip back to the net for McKay. Green. He gets the puck to center. And the Islanders just hang on to it up the blue line. Janssen tapped it ahead. That should do it. Janssen's going to jolt before the horn sounded. Green and Janssen have words after the horn now. A little mix-up, and the officials have to be careful of this type thing.
Right at the end of the period, Scatchard was nailed on a hip check as McKay backed into him. And I don't think there's any further problem here as both teams are going in.
Don Cherry standing by for the coach's corner in the first intermission. Goals by McGillney and Parrish. Parrish on the power play. After one period, it's a 1-1 tie.
Well, it appears in Montreal your fans come in bunches.
Oh, that's in Montreal. Good-looking guy.
Although
Looks like Carbonneau, doesn't he?
I can't believe Chardonnay, I'd say. Can't believe.
Oh, yeah, you're such a
connoisseur.
Yes.
I can't believe you don't bring that up, please.
I will.
He's
I'm going to show you the book.
That's one thing. There was a lovely article in Vines. But please don't. I would be embarrassed. Okay, Toronto and the Islanders, lots of stuff.
Thanks. I'm glad it's coming. It's coming for sure. Well, let me tell you, I'm very surprised and shocked at Mike Milbury, that the vocabulary he used, what was it, that F word so many times. And, you know, he's a graduate of Colgate. I know he's a graduate of Colgate. He was a rookie. He played for me, all right? But he drove back and forth to practices. Maybe he picked up that language there, but I'll tell you, he's just a student. You know what? He sat back and he thought of Scotty Bowman. Scotty Bowman did the very same thing against us. He got all what we should have had, Pelly, called all the press in and showed them the morning of the game, though. It was the morning of the game, so they'd start talking about it and the whole deal and that. He went down at 8 o'clock. He heard the referee skated at 8:30. He went, pose that thing, will you?
What's
well, I wanted to see that.
Update. Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I know. Stanley Cup. Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you think of what Harry Neal said, though? Harry said that...
Wait, I'm not finished yet.
Okay, and then I'll ask you.
8 o'clock, he found out the referee skated in the Montreal Forum. He went down and berated them, and yelled at them about calling penalties and like that. So he just picked up with Scotty.
But Harry meant the point in '82 he tried that, and the first 3 penalties were against him. He spent the first half of the period short-handed.
It didn't make any difference. Sammy Pollock run the league back then. Scotty was just making sure.
How about we'll get off that for a bit. Come back to the Ottawa Senators last night.
I can't get over the wine.
Yeah, get back.
Well, Ottawa, Philly, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, Bobby Clark must be sitting up there watching this. Do you think anybody's going to play in that game and break a guy's ankle to win the game? The rest of the league is having wars out there, and they're having a love fest, and I can't believe Philly. I mean, at least go out a way Philly used to play, bang and smash and do something. Lalime sees every puck. Remember Dornhofer in front? I mean, I'm not knocking Philly. I don't want to sit here and knock Philly and everything, but I mean, the way they're playing, they're not even rough. If you're going to go out on your shield. I got to admire Ottawa. They, after that first game, they outshot them, out-hustled them, did everything and lose the game. It was a deja vu. What happened with Joseph, the same thing. They could have quit. They've come back and looked pretty good. But I tell you, no war, no hate, no nothing.
Well, we have an example in the first period they saw with Joe Thornton that...
Now you're talking about something. Dougie Gilmour goes out. Montreal was the same thing last year. He gets them going. You're talking this series. This is a hate job. Now watch Thornton here. He gets... I mean, this thing is going like a tongue war going here. I'll tell you, it's really something. Bang it and the whole deal.
And you know he's got a sore shoulder. Even
and look at the guy goes after his shoulder. Hey, you want to fool around, you're going to get it. There it is again. You want to fool around, you're going to get it anyhow.
I'm glad we scotch guarded the furniture. I didn't even notice the jacket until we were looking at that clip. Here's Montreal trying up the middle passes. And what's this about? Larry Robinson used to do it to you all the time. I don't know if...
Hey, what they used to do, and I talked about Roger, and Roger had it down perfect with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just a couple. I just thought I'd throw it in. I talked about it before. You just take a chance. Coaches out there, take a chance. Fire it up the middle. At least you got it as an icing. Well, they got a couple here. It's going to click for them. Watch. What's that one? There it is, right out the middle. He just throw it out the middle. It could click. I think we got one more coming like this. Just fire it up the middle. If it misses, it's icing. It's nothing. It's pretty good play. Really is a good play. I know it's kind of boring. One more. Same play, like, he misses it. I think that one coming in pretty good.
All right.
Hey, I got to ask you a question.
Certainly.
Why are you, when you get Brian Burke on here, why do you do that all the time? No, wait a minute. The score was 1-0. They're up 2-0 this series. He's a good enough guy to come on, and you give him heck all the time. Every time he comes on, you seem to give him a hard time because he's a good guy. Why do you do that?
Because Brian, he's a good arguer, and he started giving it to me a little bit. He said we were going on like they were down 4-1 and
after you said about the shot. You asked him about the long shot. What is he supposed to say?
What am I going to ask him?
Well, I don't know what you don't ask him now. What is he supposed to say? The kid blew the shot?
Yeah.
I mean, well, I just don't understand.
No, that's right. He's not going to get into it, but I just was going back because he can handle himself.
You're trying to be an investigative journalist or something.
Brian
don't do it to your friends. No, he doesn't like it. You know he doesn't like it.
Well, do you think Gary Bettman doesn't like it? Lawyers love it. Any guy that's gone to law school, that's their meat.
Knock it off, He's a friend of mine. He's a good Irish guy. Quit that stuff.
Well, if you're interviewing him, you can take it easy.
Well, I'll take it easy.
And I have our little thing.
All right. No, you know he doesn't like it.
Well, of course he doesn't love it. I would be honest. He's in the middle of a tough predicament there, too.
Stop.
Hey, we're out of time.
All right. No, we're not out of time.
Yes, we are out of time.
You mean to tell me you argue with me and I can't show...
You asked me the question.
I got to show Bertuzzi. Go ahead, and I got to show Yzerman. Go ahead. Show Bertuzzi, and the reason he...
Let's go. Bertuzzi.
Bertuzzi acts like this because he's a tiger. And Maltby, I watch him do the rag act. I hate guys that do that. You're going to say, why did he get the penalty like that? Because he's a tiger, and watch he does it again. Watch Maltby takes a swing at him. Now Bertuzzi goes back at him. Watch him do the ragdoll act. Watch him do the ragdoll. I hate that. Give him a little shot. Look. I hate that stuff. A tiger, you can't pull his teeth. One more, Irishman. Hurry up now.
We're out of time, Don. I hate to say it.
You mean to tell me...
I'm sorry.
You ruined Coach's score. Here comes Yzerman. This guy, if you want to be a hero, guys, this is a hero. He sets up the play. Watch this here. This is the same ship, folks. He puts it back to Shanahan. Shanahan puts it on. And he puts it on, and he wins. Anyhow, I'm going to say, you people in Vancouver, some of you crowd out there that booed and talked during the national anthem. Okay, wait a minute. But you made noise and yelled when the Princess Pat guys were being honored. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're the scum of the earth, as far as I'm concerned.
Coach's Corner on CBC. Brought to you by B.F. Goodrich. B.F. Goodrich. Take control.
So quiet around here the last couple of days. Toronto and the Islanders 1-1 after 1. Let's go down for some reaction to the opening 20 minutes with Travis Green and Scott Hoke.
Travis, as a former Islander, you knew that the atmosphere in this building, at least to start the game, would be electric. How would you describe the crowd factor in the first period?
Well, it was pretty electric. Nothing out of the ordinary, though. They were loud, but it's a good building to play in.
Islanders seemed to get momentum in the second half of the first period on the power play. Did the Leafs lose some discipline?
A little bit, maybe. I thought he called it kind of a cheap penalty on the 4-minute. Should have just been a 2. But that's the way it goes. We got to keep battling and try to get the win tonight.
Thank you, Travis.
All right, thanks.
Up to the Minute. Brought to you by Ford of Canada, Canada's #1 choice.
Around the NHL, New Jersey leading 1-0 when last we checked in against Carolina. Here's Brian Giunta's goal. It's unassisted, and that was the end for Archers Urbe. Kevin Weeks is on in relief for the second game in a row. New Jersey Devils leading the Hurricanes in the second period by a pair. Boston, Montreal, as you know, deadlocked at a goal apiece. Axelson gets his second and Perreault his first of the playoffs. St. Louis Blues against Steve Passmore and the Chicago Blackhawks. Brian Sutter makes the shift in goal. Colorado and Los Angeles will play later. Ziggy Palffy leads the NHL scoring race with 7 points and was tremendous last night. So was Jason Allison. And Game 2 of the doubleheader. Okay, Brian, if you really feel bad, I'm sorry. Detroit, Vancouver coming up at 10:30 ET.
Up to the Minute. Brought to you by Ford of Canada, Canada's #1 choice.
And here's the second period from New York. Islanders penalty will be over in 1 minute 2 seconds, and the Leafs penalty will be over in 2.
The Islanders penalty killing, Bob, has been superb. In the last 5 games of the season, plus the first 3 of this, 34 straight penalty kills. Trying for 35 on this one.
Pilash is out of the penalty box, and now the Leafs then are on the power play to start the second period with a score tied 1-1. Roberts in on the forecheck. Strong work in the corner, but the Islanders come up with it. Do not get it out. In front of the net was Roberts. He was stopped. Sundin fires it into him again. Missed it this time. McGillney missed the puck. McGillney and Roberts in there. Here comes McCabe. And it'll be Sundin who'll tap it off the boards to the corner. Islanders trying to move it out. There they go. They get it to the line, and now 2 of them come up to center ice and keep going. A point takes the pass with the shot, and he missed on the short side. And then Blake ran into the goaltender, and for that he is going to get a penalty. He just kept going through the crease and hit Joseph.
Well, Joseph, in all fairness, made it look a way worse than it was. As he drew the penalty, there's no doubt about the fact that Blake, going through the crease here, bumped him.
Oh, yeah.
But did he bump him hard enough to send him flying?
Left his feet and hit the goalie.
Ah, well,
that is gone.
The ability to draw a penalty is a skill many players in the league have. And Blake has put his team in serious trouble here for a 5-on-3. Now, Joseph was hit. There's no doubt about that.
You don't think he should have gone down with that?
I think Joseph made it look worse than it was. He was hit, and you can't blame a player for doing it. They do it all over the rink. Lots of times goalies get out harder than that, and there's no penalty. So, kudos to Joseph, and not a bright play by Blake to even touch him.
No, it's a minor penalty, and he's gone to the box to join Parrish. Parrish has 13 seconds left in his minor penalty.
The Islanders outshot the Leafs 19-6 and outchanced them 7-3, but 11 of the 19 shots were on the power play and 5 of the 7 chances to score. So that's been the difference in that stat.
1-1 is the score. Maple Leafs now 2-man advantage for another 7 seconds. They move it up smartly. Carvalho along the line. Cave to Carvalho again. Gets set for the shot. No shot. Centered. Roberts missed the net. First penalty is done. Save right there by Osgood, and it's shot down the ice to Joseph. Power play now for the Maple Leafs. They're into Blake's penalty. Up to center, and the puck shot in. Out of the net was Osgood. He dumped it on the boards. Reichel plays it. Not out. Now the Islanders will move it out. Down the wing is Bates. Drops it back. Shot deflected wide of the Leaf net. The Islanders were on it in there. Pekka was hit. And Tucker, I think, was hurt on that hit. He's still on there, but he looks like he's in pain. There he is, trying to return a hit on Pekka. Seems to be okay, and he joins the three-man rush. Pass in front. Oh, what a save by Osgood. McCabe thought he had one. Brilliant save by Osgood. McCabe at the blue line. Fires it up the net. That was deflected wide. It slapped away. Lume stopped it right there and clipped it in. Lume. And Blake along the line. Another long shot tipped in front of the net. Osgood down. And he smothers it. 33 seconds left in the Blake penalty. And Osgood is making some solid saves now. Ozzy, they chant.
Nice play by Blake. By McCabe. He got the puck at the point and he kind of passed it. It was kind of a pass shot into the goal, and the Leafs had two people in front. Hoagland is one of them. And here goes Roberts. You're going to see him come in. There's the tip. Or sorry, not Roberts, Tucker. And they ended up getting a chance. A smart play by McCabe. And earlier, we have this chance on a 3-on-1 rush. McCabe tries to redirect, and a great stop by Osgood to keep the score at 1-1.
It sure was. He came across from that far post. Tucker was hurt earlier in the shift. He and Pekka.
Who threw the hit? Pekka, I suppose, and it must have hit Tucker up in the face. He recovered and got in that 3-on-1. Here it is right here. Who's the hitter and who's the hittee?
Face-off won by Toronto in the zone. Powerley at the blue line keeps it in. No, he didn't. He was outside the line. The linesman rules, and that is called on the offside.
Well, the linesman, the puck was in the air, and in the opinion of the linesman, it was right on the line. Although Pat Quinn doesn't agree. Powerley stopped it, and he was outside the line. A pretty close, tough call to make. When the Leafs have won 2 in a row at home to start any best-of-7 series over the years, they have won them all, 7 of them.
Shots are 19-11 in favor of the Islanders. Flipped off the boards and out and down the ice by New York. Shots are 5-0 Toronto in this period. They come up again. Into the corner. That was Johnson who was hit. He got the puck away from the Leaf player. Tried to skate away with it. Lost it. Now it's hooked up to center ice. Stopping it there was Matt Sundin. Islanders back up as Powerley comes at him. Sundin threw it in there. Roberts got a hard shot. He was chucked from behind and couldn't get all of it. Roberts comes in to help. Poked it loose behind the net to the corner. Powerley the other way with it. Behind the net again. And it'll be Blake. Trying to move it out. He got it as far as the line. That's where it stopped. And tipped in. Osgood had to play it. Johnson looks down the ice and ripped it right away. All the way down as they were in a little trouble back there. And it's an icing call. Coyne and Corson had a little melee going.
Gary Roberts had a nice chance to score, and Osgood makes the stop, although Roberts was knocked down from behind. I don't know whether he really got the chance it looked like he was going to get, but he had a one-legged shot and didn't get as much on it as he would like to have as he goes to the net. Yashin kind of half takes him. Roberts trips after he makes the shot. So the game has turned into a bitter affair. And Yashin a little more noticeable tonight. He has 1 assist, and we took forever to get a shot of him back to him.
We're nearing the 4-minute mark, and the Islanders haven't had a shot in the period yet.
Powerley going to the dressing room with Papineau, the equipment man, so it's a skate problem, not an injury.
1-1 is the score. Second period, game 3. Leafs lead the series, winning the first 2. Here's a shot. That's deflected wide of the net as Lume drilled it right away. Islanders finally get it up to center with Kabasha moving it in deep. Out of the net. The goalie, Joseph. Toronto trying to clear it out. They'll bring it out to center ice. And it's flipped into the zone by Domi. He comes in. The goalie's away out. Osgood. Domi swerved away from him. And the Islanders get it up to Webb at center. He dumps it in for Kabasha. Joseph is out again. He played it to the right side, and it's out. 2-on-1 Toronto. It'll be McCabe moving up with Hoagland to the net. And the pass was intercepted easily. McCabe just waited for 2-on. 3-on-1. Kabasha centering it. Harris was covered in time. Penalty going to be called, and it's going to be against Toronto.
Over at the bench, we see a couple of people get involved. I don't know who got the penalty. We'll tell you shortly.
Power play when we're back. Reichel gets the penalty for tripping at 4:36.
Here it is right here. As Reichel, there's the pull, the trip right there. And the Leafs will be in the penalty kill situation again, and the Islanders have had some good chances and lots of shots on the power play.
They've had 7 shots on 4 previous power plays. And one of them was the goal scored by Parrish. So the crowd chants, "Let's go Islanders." We'll see how they do. Their 5th power play of the game. Slapped in by Hammerlich. Comes back to Bates. He and Pekka. Bates and Pekka roughed up on the boards. That's Snecki Berg and McCauley for the Maple Leafs. It squirts loose. Johnson steps up. And he's covered, so no shot. He might go with one now. No. Gives it to Bates. Bates is in deep. Johnson is still open back there. And it would be a dangerous pass with 2 Leafs up there. Yashin lost it. Ball swings it out quickly and down the ice. Islanders moving up. They're onside. Bates shoved the puck in. It is McCabe, though, who moves it up along the glass to the line. Not out. Again, he tries. Still not out. Kept in. Bates is flattened. They want another penalty call. They won't get that. Miller gets into the blue line. And the pass comes back for Miller. Winding up. No shot. He's covered too well. It's in front. Weak shot by Bates. And easily stopped by Curtis Joseph. But things are happening again in Montreal. Here's Ron.
Bob, thank you. And quickly, the Montreal Canadiens and the Bruins tied 1-1 in the second one on the power play. A gorgeous pass here, 3-way passing play, actually. Bill Guerin's the beneficiary. His third from Thornton and O'Donnell. Makes it 2-1 for the Bruins. And then 68 seconds after that goal, bit of a careless play here as Nick Boynton sneaks one through for Murray and Samsonov. It's 3-1 Bruins.
Not looking good for Montreal now.
Bates gets a chance here, but I don't think he gets anything on the shot because Jyrki Lumme comes out right there and takes a lot of steam off.
Puck goes to the corner. We're tied here in Long Island, New York. 1-1. Point shot. Rebound. Score! Right in front of the net. Brad Isbister all alone. And the Islanders are ahead for the very first time in this game.
Isbister picked up a rebound. The face-off right here is won by Green, but the Islanders recover the puck on a good play by Tchaikovsky. Now here's the shot. It's actually stopped in front of the net by McCabe, not Joseph, and the blocked shot right here goes right to Isbister, and Joseph has no chance at all on it as McCabe blocked the shot. But he came off McCabe's chest or his hand and went right to Isbister.
And no problem to score for Isbister. Wide open net. 2-1, New York in front. Trying to fight back into the series. Here's a break for Roberts. Can he catch up to it? Not quite. Shot to the corner where Johnson steals it. Doesn't get it out. Around the goal is Blake. Leads it up to the blue line. Islanders with a spark now. And jumping in on the wing left point. Right in on goal! Oh, and it went by the open side. All Islanders right right here. A pass from the corner by Blake doesn't work. And the Leafs get it up for Sundin. And Carberlay right there with him. Carberlay coming in on the backhand. And that was wide of the net. Sundin is creamed in the corner by Steve Webb. Shot down from center and drilled wide of the net. Big rebound. Nobody could play it. The point is on it. Shoots it around the net. Relax. Steve Webb is the change here. Listen to him. 2-1. The Islanders are in front of the Maple Leafs, and their captain just got a big hit from Steve Webb. But Sundin shakes it off. He's okay.
Webb only played 2 minutes and 31 seconds in the first period, but every shift he's on, you can hear him if you can't see him. And the Leaf bench complained bitterly that he left his feet to hit Sundin on that one, but couldn't get the referee to believe it.
The go-ahead goal for the Islanders, scored at 6:01 by Isbister. His first, by the way, was from Coyne and Cherkowski on a New York Islanders power play. That's 2 goals on the power play in the game, enough for the lead to this point. Only has the Maple Leaf goal in the first. Healy steps out front. Healy nearly got loose for a shot. It's still there. Carson took a shot, side of the net. Down goes Osgood. Leafs are causing a problem in there now. Forechecking. Healy after it again. Osgood away out of the net. Shoots it away, but not out. Healy kept it in, shooting it around the net. This near side, where Hammerlick flicked it away down the ice, and another penalty coming. And this is going to against the defenseman, Eric Cairns. The Leafs move it up the center. Coming in is Healy. Here's the shot right on. Osgood stopped that, and now they call the play. And the penalty comes against the New York Islanders' big defenseman, Eric Cairns.
He high-stick Corson, I believe. And it's turned into quite a bitter game. Curtis Joseph was afraid to come out of the net on the delayed penalty. And for this whole shift, Cairns and Corson fought each other off trying to get position. And finally Cairns knocks him down. That's not the penalty. Corson's trying to get involved in the play, and then there's the penalty call.
Toronto continues to be stymied on the power play. 0 for 4 in this game. That's 14 in the first 2 games and a period and a bit in this one.
And as I mentioned earlier, it's 0 for 36 if you want to dip back into the last 5 games of the season.
Faceoff is in the Islanders' zone. Help for the Maple Leafs if they can win it, which they do. On the blue line. Pass to McCabe. In Carberlay, handed back and forth. McCabe tried to go deep. That's stopped by Janssen. He has the opening and plays it ahead. LaPointe leaves it at center ice. And drilling the shot was Blake. Joseph had to jump away from the speeding LaPointe, who ended up in the net. Here's a chance for McCabe. Stop, rebound. No shot on the rebound. Joseph has the net off behind him. Nobody stopped the play. Domi tried a shot. McCabe comes up. Joseph is trying to pitch the net back there. Well, let's go the other way. That's where Roberts is causing a problem now. With Sundin, the crowd in a buzz. Back to Carberlay. Carberlay trying to feed it up, and he does. On the far side, back to Carberlay. Weak shot goes in, and that's stopped by Osgood on the short side. Domi was there, gets it back, fired around the net by Roberts, and Sundin tried to move it out, does, and play finally called. But the net off behind Joseph, as you can see, and it's been off for, I don't know how long now, maybe 40 seconds maybe.
But the Islanders knocked the net off, and the Leafs, they did not touch the puck. So the referee says, we're not going to blow the whistle because the puck's not in the Leafs zone, and the Leafs did not knock the net off. And it went a long time. LaPointe slides right in here. The Islanders, of course, complaining that McCabe should have been penalized for it, as he's hooked on the 2-on-2 short-handed rush. There's Joseph out of the way. Now the net's right against the end of the rink. But the whistle does not go because the Islanders do not touch the puck. And Joseph.
What a jump. Holy cow. He went a long way up to get away from LaPointe, who was felled and coming right at him.
Gene Hires explaining to the Islanders, Mike Pekka, the captain, why the whistle didn't go. First, the puck did not come back into the Leaf zone. And secondly, the Islanders never touched the puck. And as a result, the Leafs should not be penalized when the Islander player knocked the net off. But he's complaining to Lavalette is that there should have been a hooking call on the play.
55 seconds remains in the Cairns penalty. 2-1 Islanders lead. 2 power play goals by New York. Leafs are having a tough time getting it going now. On this, their 5th power play of the game. Oh, here they come. That's Pilash. And Osgood. Slow moving it though. He got help from the defenseman Janssen. He didn't need any help. He ripped the bird away down the ice. 30 seconds left in Cairns' penalty. Joseph moved it out. Knocked down at the blue line by O'Coin. Lume. Tucker. Back for Lume. To center. Shot it in. McGillney stopped. The Leafs get it. Here's a drive right on. Big rebound. Cleared by New York. That'll do it. 7 seconds left. They peeled another one off. Lume in his own zone. There's Kearns out of the box on the puck. Feeds it in, but they call it offside. Boy, that was close at the Toronto blue line. Islanders have 2 power play goals in the game and are ahead. 2-1. The New York Islanders 2, the Toronto Maple Leafs 1. Game 3 and Game 4 is scheduled for tomorrow here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum at 7 Eastern. Toronto winning 2 at home. And in trouble here against the Islanders tonight. Shots are 22-17 in favor of the Islanders. They're ahead 2-1 as the Leafs shoot it in. Good hustle to keep it in, preventing an icing call with Reichel. Webb is on the ice and delivers another hard hit back there. He pounded into Domi. At the blue line, McCabe shot. Domi in front of the net, couldn't get a stick near it. And Hammerlick comes away. Hammerlick down over center. Shoots it in from there as the point was dumped right in front of him. Joseph is out and nearly lost. There's Webb coming in after every lead. That comes near him at all. Reichel shoots it from center. And the puck is back to the blue line. Leafs move up. Domi fanned on it. Here's Domi behind the net. He's going to draw a penalty. I think the goalie might have got him that time. I'm not sure if the goalie got him or it might have been Van Imp. One of them tripped Domi behind the net, and Domi at the end of the shift has been roughed up a little bit and is losing his cool a little bit right here, and the big linesman takes care of him for a moment and talks him into going to the bench. That's where he's headed.
Well, the original call, if there's only one, is going to go against the Islanders. And you're right, I don't know whether it was the goaltender or Van Imp. Oh, it was Osgood. So yes, someone off the ice is going to have to serve it on the trip. As Osgood sticks his goal stick in the feet of Domi right there, as Domi's going to get that puck on the forecheck. Doesn't appear there are any other penalties on it.
Here's Scott Oaken.
Bob, thanks very much. Number 9 is another one that hangs from the rafters here at the Nassau County Coliseum. Belongs to Clark Gillies. Clark, were there times during the years of the Islanders being in the wilderness you thought you'd never see them in the playoffs again?
Many years. I just thought, I've been back here in Long Island for 8 years, and this is my first taste of the playoffs since 1993. And it's so exciting to be back here and be part of this whole thing. The fans are loving it. We're loving it. I see a lot of my old buddies here tonight, Bobby Nystrom, And some of John Poppin is in the building somewhere, I think. I'm not sure. But we're having a great time and enjoying the whole thing.
Clark, in retrospect, was it an unfair burden for the teams that followed the dynasty to be compared to it?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think anybody compare our team to this team. They say, in the early years, is this the same type of team you had? Well, not really. This team has been put together, thank God, by Mr. Wong and Mr. Kumar, and we're in the playoffs. I mean, that's all you got to worry about. Our team was built from the draft. This team has been put together a little bit, but we're just very excited here in Long Island to have the opportunity to be in the playoffs and watch these guys compete at a very high level.
All right, Clark, thanks for your time. Good to see you.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob. Number 9, big Clark Gillies. What a powerhouse he was with the Stanley Cup winning teams of the New York Islanders before Edmonton took over with Mr. Gretzky and company. They won 4 in a row here on Long Island. Islanders bring it up to center ice. They can't jump it in though. Carley stopped that. And Sundin comes in a goal! He went high with a shot. I don't know if Osgood got a piece of that. But it went up over that crossbar. And Sundin tried the top corner. Back to the line, McCabe. He gives it to Carley. Didn't handle it cleanly to make a play. Now he gets it in behind the net. There's Roberts with Mogilny, who has the lead goal, centering it. It'll be the Islanders, though, pick it off. And it's cleared down the ice by Jason Blake. 45 seconds left in the penalty that was called on Chris Osgood, the goalie from tripping Domi. 2-1 Islanders. Trying to stave off the Leafs attack. Pressure is on the ice again from the corner. Brings it back out. Rolls it back in and gets it back again. Tucker goes to the front of the net, waiting for the pass. It hit a skate, went by him. Leafs are on it in there. Centered again. Tucker took a swing at it. So did Green. But the Islanders pick it up and get it up, but nearly a giveaway just inside the line. Gilney nearly picked that off and was gone home free to the net, and he controlled it. Bates drilled it right on from that sharp angle. Stick save, Joseph. Penalty just about done. The Maple Leafs moving out. Lume. Here's Webb out of the penalty box. He served the 2 minutes for the goal. Shot on the boards. Here's Pekka. Right in. Scores! Michael Pekka, the captain, opens up a 2-goal lead, and they're standing and roaring again.
The Islanders won't let up, and they are giving the Leafs fits in their own end. It looked like the Leafs were out of the zone and out of trouble. Till Blake Pekka takes the pass here and walks in, all alone, no Leaf in the zone, and he puts it off the left goal post and in to beat Joseph. Lume has the puck and then loses it to the defenseman, who gets it to Pekka, and he makes no mistake.
That's a dandy shot by Pekka to beat Joseph. It was his first star in Game 2 in Toronto. But that time he couldn't fall and Pekka was alone. Joseph was back. Pekka beat him up high. 3-1 now. Kavasha. His shot is off the leg and wide of the net. And here's Sketcher with Kip Miller. Kavasha ripped it around the net. Flipped up high near the line, and McCauley does get the puck out. Islanders killed off. Another penalty, the one called against their goalie. And then went on the attack, and Pekka gives them a 3-1 lead. With 5:46 left in the second. Powered by Pekka for sure. He got the assist from Blake, and that was the only assist on the goal. 13:33, and the goal makes it 3-1 New York. Hogan drills it into the zone. Cairns behind the net will wait. Yevshin takes it and drops it for him. He goes the other way. Up near center, that was Bates. Just missed getting a stick on that. Yashin is stopped easily. Reichel could not move it out. Yashin turns at the line. Yashin again gets a shot. Wasn't true to the net. And cleared back out by Toronto to Roberts. Down with Reichel. Into the zone it goes. Corson on that line and moves up. Roberts is bumped lightly in the corner. Islanders bring it back out. John Bates shoots it in. Hugh Parrish along with Yashin head off on a change. And Corson takes the puck to center. Down is Gary Roberts, dropping it. Sundin tried to feed it into Corson. That was intercepted. New York putting the heat on again. Bringing it back in over the Leaf line. Isbister reaches for it. Stopped Carberlay as he grabbed him from behind. Spun him around. Carberlay gets back on his skates and gets the puck up to McKay. He races up over the line. Putting on the brakes near the line. Corson shot. Osgood looking sharp. Stopping another one. This time from Corson. Blocker save that time. Tchaikovsky shoots the puck up over the Leaf line and McKay clears it again. On a change, that'll be called on the offside.
Have a look at the last three goals the Islanders have scored, both in the second period. Isbister's going to get this one. The Leafs win the draw, but the puck goes to the point. Isbister goes to the front of the net. McKay blocks the point shot, but it bounces right on Isbister's stick. And then Lume cannot get the puck deep. And all the Leafs are caught. Blake bumps it up to Pekka, and he puts it in.
Drilled a wrist shot by Joseph. Left side, 3-1 New York Islanders. Shots 24 by New York. 19 by the Leafs. Kip Miller with the puck in center. On the boards with it, in the zone. Back McCabe, icing called against the New York Islanders with 3:54 remaining in the second period.
Well, Peter Laviolette's got to be very happy with a much improved performance by nearly every one of their players. They've only scored 4 times, but 3 of the 4 have been on the power play, and 3 of the 4 have been tonight. The Leafs started and took the crowd out of the game here for the first 8 or 10 minutes, but on the power play, the Leafs cannot seem to solve the excellent penalty killing on behalf of the Islanders. And that has gone on in all 3 games in this series.
Hockey Night in Canada with you on the CBC from coast to coast again. With this game, with 3:50 left in the second, and the Islanders climbing back into the series if they can hang on. They're leading 3-1 in this game. Trailing in the series 2-0. Vilak tied up behind the net. His man won't move though. Vantage shot is wide. Scatcherd fell, got it out. There's McGillney. Tucker will come up with it. McGillney to Tucker. Didn't get too far at all. And Miller turns around and leaves it there in the center ice area. Poked up to the Leaf line where McCabe stopped it, but Miller is there again. Vilak without the helmet flipped it back over center ice. That's the long shot to Joseph. And he was slow to pace. He saw his defenseman Vilak without the helmet and thought it would be wise to smother it. Second game tonight, of course. That exciting series out west. Detroit and Vancouver hooked up with the Canucks, leading 2-1. Tonight, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific.
And here it is 3-1 Islanders on a well-deserved lead after falling behind 1-0. They have been the superior team. 3:07 to go in the second period.
Other scores, Boston leading by 2. Jersey leading by 2. Here the Islanders leading by 2 with 3:07 left. Second. Squirts to the boards. Carberlay. A back pass. Carberlay on a skate. Handled that very well. Got it up to Hoagland. He poked it ahead. Domi is coming in there. Domi has the goalie out again. Nearly chopped it away from him. Domi is there. And it'll be cleared out by New York. down the ice by Janssen, but again too high and over the boards at the bench. And Ty Domi is caught for slashing. He's going. Ty Domi has been caught in open ice slashing.
He almost gets a hold of the puck when it's cleared by Osgood, and then as the puck goes out of the zone, I don't think that was the slash.
No, it was after that. Right. Even though that might have been one, he tried to knock it away from the goalie. It was not called. It was called a little bit later. A slash near the blue line. He's gone anyway, and the minor penalty with 2:39 left to play in the second. Islanders are ahead 3-1. Out shooting the Leafs 25-19. And mess in the corner, and coming out of it is Sean Bates. Boy, he ripped that one in hard. Joseph stopped it though behind the net, and it was cleared all the way back down the ice. Osgood out again and leaves it at the side of his goal. That's another penalty against Toronto. Volk was checking his man. And checked him all the way to the boards, and a hooking penalty has been called.
Well, Volk was getting beaten in the foot race coming out of the Islanders zone, and I think it was Hammerlick who Volk from behind hooked, and Hammerlick went down. And so 121, they're going to be down 2 men.
Too short. The Maple Leafs are 2 players short as we welcome you people who have been watching Boston and Montreal. Volk gets the latest one, and this is the hook as he pulls the Janssen down. As he was trying to come out, the Islanders already on a power play with Domi off for slashing. And now, 1:21 left in Domi's penalty. Volk is called for that hook. 2:03 left in the second period, and the Islanders are leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-1.
2 offensive zone penalties, slashing to Domi, hooking the Volk to put the Leafs in this spot.
It's a tough spot now. The Leafs are down 2 goals. The Islanders with a 2-man advantage. They already have scored 2 goals in a power play. Into the zone deep. Hammerlick back to the blue line, waits for the pass. Gets set with it. Rolls it along the line. Janssen stepping up. Fakes the shot. Deals it off to the far side. They're outside, and Janssen plays another pass instead of shooting. Now, the far side, Yashin. Turkowski behind the goal. Yashin in the corner. He's caught by McCabe and got rid of it back to the line. Janssen again to Hammerlick. No shot yet. Finally, it's slammed up the net, and the Leafs pick it off easily. And they get a lot of help from the Islanders and just wait patiently and clear up the length of the ice. Domi has only 30 seconds left in his penalty. 2-man advantage, New York. No shot on Joseph yet. Fired in behind the Leaf net. Comes off the boards, and Miller stopped it. Miller goes to the net. He winds up. No shot from him. Here's one. That's blocked. Joseph is down. Spreading in front of the net and hoping the puck is underneath, and that is where it is somewhere, and he hangs on to it.
Under his right arm, Jyrki Lume, 25 for the Leafs. He knew it, but Joseph didn't. And here's a good replay of this one here as Joseph gets a little bit of luck here. He doesn't know where it is. It's loose, and you can see that Berg kicks it underneath the arm of Joseph in a smart play. Joseph looks to his left, and the puck's on the right, and you can see Berg with a skate just bumps it underneath Joseph for the whistle.
Only 11 seconds left in the first penalty against the Maple Leafs. Ty Domi. 51 left in the penalty against Volk. Here's a chance, and a shot ripped wide by O'Coin. What a chance that was. O'Coin again. Islanders to O'Coin a third time. Janssen ripped it. Score!
Will get his second of the game, and the Islanders are ahead 4-1.
Parrish jumps on a rebound on another point shot that Joseph stopped. He may have stopped it with his mask. Parrish 37 in front of the net. He's in behind the Leaf defenseman. Here's the shot. Whoa, it goes right off the mask of Joseph, right onto the stick of Parrish, who's in behind the Leaf defenseman, and he puts it in from the top of the crease. Kenny Johnson wires one. Joseph stops it. But then Parrish has position on Akiberg and puts it in for his second of the night.
19:19 is the time of the goal. That's the third power play goal of the game for the New York Islanders. The Leafs are at full strength now for the rest of the period, unless something else is called. 22 seconds left. They're in center ice. Belak flipped it up across center. Miller threw it back the other way. Islanders come after it. Big Kabasha around the net, pulling away from Belak. Belak caught him, pinned him on the boards. 5 seconds left. 4 of them are in on the boards, and the puck is frozen there. The crowd roars as the period comes to a close, and the New York Islanders have a 3-goal spread on the Maple Leafs. A commanding lead. Out shooting Toronto 28-19. They have 3 power play goals in the game. And after 2 periods, it's Islanders 4, the Leafs 1.
Brad Isbister's first point of the playoffs, the go-ahead goal for the Islanders in the second period. And so now, Brad, you got the luxury of leading for the first time in the series. What's turned the tide?
Well, obviously power plays have a big part of this, played a big part in this game so far. I think we got 3 power play goals, and special teams is playing a big role. I mean, we had some big kills and capitalized on our power plays. We got to keep doing that.
Yeah, on the other hand, their power plays been able to do nothing whatsoever. Would you say your penalty killing has been as much a difference in the game as your power play?
Oh, big time. I mean, they've had a lot of power play opportunities, and our penalty kills are doing a great job. They did a great job for us all year, and they're not getting too many chances out there. So hopefully, like I said, we can keep winning the special teams battle and should win the game that way.
How do you think the Islanders have responded to the crowd tonight, seeing its team in the playoffs for the first time in 8 years?
Oh, it's great. We could hear them when we're getting dressed for warm-up. The fans are behind us, and it's a great feeling to get them a good game so far. We got 20 more minutes, and hopefully we can get them a win.
Thanks for your time, Brad.
Thanks, Scott.
There's Brad Isbister of the New York Islanders. Stand by for After 40 Minutes with Ron McLean. That's up next here on Long Island. Goals by Isbister, Pekka, and Parrish in the second period have the Islanders in front of the Leafs 4-1.
That evolved in the second period there. The Bruins lead that game 3-1. As you know, the New York Islanders lead the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 4-1 after 2 periods of play. In any event, there was a goal disallowed by the officials. John has talked to the NHL offices in New York, to Colin Campbell or some of the powers that be. What had happened is Richard Zednik had, let's have a look at it. This was with the score 3-1 for the Boston Bruins. Canadians think they pulled it within 1 on this play. Richard Zednik will drive in, take the shot, and what's strange about this is the Bruin defender, Nick Boynton, knocked the net off ahead of the puck crossing. Now, my take on it from the casebook is because the defending player knocks the net off its mooring before the puck goes in, that goal should stand. But John said in his discussions with the NHL, it appears they've made the right call. We would like to hear from Bob Hall, who is the supervisor in Montreal, just to get further on that. In any event, Canadians down 2 after 2, and it's all New York. A lot of power play scoring for the Islanders against Toronto. Let's bring in the crew from the West. We are getting set for a 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start. The Vancouver Canucks leading the Detroit Red Wings 2-1, and there's Chris Cuthbert and Greg Millen to preview Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight. Chris?
Well, Rod, we saw on Sunday night the Detroit Red Wings respond to a tough situation, down 2-0 in the series with their best performance and a win in Game 3. And I think, Greg, the question tonight is, how will Dan Cloutier respond after the goal that really led to Detroit's win?
Well, I think he'll be okay. I had a nice chat with him yesterday, and certainly he was very calm about the situation. Said he had a good night's sleep, and in case You haven't seen these goals. I'm sure that most of the country has already, but we'll show them to you quickly. The long one that went in at the end of the second period, and then, of course, Brendan Shanahan's goal to seal the victory for Detroit early in the third period. By the way, that was the only chance for the Detroit Red Wings in the third period of play. But I really think the way that the Vancouver Canucks have approached this, and in fact, they have approached it this way, is they're calm. They're really calm in the room. They've parked the other glass. They're ready for tonight's game. And let's face it, they've been going through this all season long, from Christmas on anyway, that, you know, they've lost a couple of games, a couple of bumps in the road, and they've bounced right back, and I expect that they'll do that again tonight.
One of the adjustments Detroit made, Steve Yzerman played with Sergei Fedorov in Game 3, and they were tough on the big line of Vancouver. I think that big line with Brendan Morrison, Todd Bertuzzi, and Marcus Naslund is anxious to get back and maybe play a little better against the big two of Detroit.
Well, I think the whole team thought they were just far too passive. They sat back against Detroit and didn't get their forechecking game going, the big line including. And the thing is, you're going to watch for them to be much more aggressive tonight on the puck. Right off faceoffs, they're not going to play that 1-4 as much. They're going to be much more aggressive on their forecheck and try and get on Detroit's defense much more.
Game 4 coming up, Ron, as you mentioned, the big swing game in the series.
4 shots for the Canucks, Chris and Greg, in that first period. They want to do it better, and Marcus Naslund actually gave himself some of the blame in the papers to his credit, and said he knows he has to be better, and he certainly was when the Canucks rallied a lot. Came the Cardiac Kids down the stretch. We'll continue on Hockey Night in Canada in a moment. Back in Toronto and Long Island, 4-1 New York leads through 2 periods of play. Let's get you caught up around the NHL. 6 games on the docket on this day. It's a key night for a lot of these series. Boston and Montreal are playing just Game 3, but the Bruins are trying to regain home ice advantage, and the shot's 13-7 in the second period as they go to that 2-goal lead. New Jersey leads 2-0 against Carolina. Kevin Weeks is on for Carolina after Urbe played the first 20 minutes and was beaten by Bobby Halika and Brian Gionta. St. Louis against Chicago, where Steve Passmore gets the start and didn't have to do a lot. The shots in the first were 10-1 for the Blackhawks. So Brian Sutter was pretty livid after the last game, and the Hawks came out and played well but couldn't score. By the way, Dallas Drake was injured in that game, stitches and most likely a concussion, not likely to return. Colorado, LA, of course, later on, along with the Vancouver-Detroit game. Back with more in a moment. 4-1 New York leads Toronto through 2 in Uniondale. Let's get you some coverage from Montreal, where third period's underway. The Bruins leading the Canadiens by a score of 3-1 there. We'll pick up the action for just a short bit with Don Whitman and John Davis.
And at this time, we say hello to viewers all across the country. We have 16:37 in the third remaining. It's a 3-1 Boston lead over Montreal. Montreal was first on the board, but then 3 in a row by the Bruins.
Perreault over on the left side has the puck go off the skate. That was a power play goal for Montreal. Axelson, short-handed, really got Boston into the game. 1-1. And look at this power play action. Joe Thornton across to Bill Guerin. Boston had the lead. And then another one from a weird angle as Nick Boynton shot the puck somehow off the goalpost and in, and Boston has the 3-1 lead.
Here's Petrov going in deep. Petrov looking, getting set, takes the shot, knocked down in front of the net, and now Samsonov will bring it out to center for Murray. He leaves it for Stumple. Stumple gains the line, tried to flip it back, nobody in position at the point. But the Bruins managed to keep it in the Montreal zone.
Again, that Gilmore line back together with Zednik and Petrov. They've had 2 shots combined going into this third period total. They have had problems getting their game offensively going in Game 3. They were brilliant in the first 2 games, but not here.
Well, for those viewers who haven't been with us for the entire game, a quick start by the Montreal Canadiens, but the short-handed goal seemed to provide inspiration for the Boston Bruins.
That was a goal by Axelson, set up by Brian Ralston, 2 of the best penalty killers, maybe the best penalty-killing pair in the entire league. Look at the Bruins get the loose pucks. They are playing better as this game moves along and really hustling as a 5-man unit. Their back check pressure's been awesome. Look at that. Look how they hustle the loose pucks. Again, look at the back check pressure. Can't make a pass. Back check pressure.
Here comes Lapointe. Lapointe winds, saves. Zamaner couldn't get to the rebound. They've been winning those battles for loose pucks. That's been key to their 3-1 advantage. 15:01 remaining in the third period.
Thanks to Don and John in Montreal. We'll keep you up to date with highlights throughout the course of the third period from Uniondale. As you see, the officials are on the ice. Teams will be there shortly, and so will Bob Cole and Harry Neal be set to call third period action on Hockey Night in Canada next.
On Joseph, they have a 4-1 lead.
Well, Bob, lots of credit to the Islanders. They've been the best team in these two periods, but when the Leafs' power play is 0 for 6 and their penalty killing is 3 for 7, and you have that combination going on the special teams, it's awfully tough to win.
Islanders right off the bat. Watch Domi, who's trying to come in. Puck is batted away from Domi down the ice. Shot back in by Toronto. Domi, good hustle. No icing because of that hustle. He picked it loose. The pass comes to McCabe at the line. Shot right to the net. And somehow Osgood saw that through a big crowd in front of him and caught it.
That was a good stop. Much more difficult than it looked because it did go by 4 or 5 people, 2 or 3 on each team. Roberts throws it out. McCabe gets the shot through. 2 Leafs, Domi and Roberts, try to get their stick on it, but can't. And Osgood, who's been pretty sharp, 21 saves, half a dozen of them excellent.
That was another dandy through that big crowd you saw. The 4 players in front of him. Somehow it got through. Except he caught it, no goal. Domi fell trying to leap to it. Islanders get it out. That's Sundin trying to move it. Domi nearly had it go off his skate. He was going off. Would have been too many men on the ice penalty, but he missed it. High over the net. Up behind Joseph.
Well, the Leafs went ahead 1-0 at 7:32 of the first period. Since then, it's been all Islanders. Parrish scores the first of 2 on a rebound that hits Joseph and goes right to Parrish. Isbister on another rebound puts it in to make it 2-1 Islanders. Pekka on a breakaway after taking a pass from Blake off the post and in. And Parrish, another rebound. This one, the Kenny Johnson shot, went right off the mask of Joseph, right to Parrish, and he put it in.
And of those goals, only Pekka was even strength. The others, power play goals by the New York Islanders. Their special teams have been good tonight. Very good. We're up again with Yashin this time. Yashin pass, right back to Yashin. Maybe too many passes on that rush. 3 Islanders were in and only 1 Leaf was back. And they did not get a shot on goal. Corson drops it at the line. Bolt tried a shot. That's steered away by Osgood's stick. Islanders bring it to center. Shot back in. Healy was trapped inside the line. It's okay. He got out and they shot it down. No icing either. And played away to center. Lume hooked it back in. Headed for the net. So Cairns stopped it. And he lifts a high one away down the ice. Did the Leaf player touch it? He did not, apparently. The Islanders move up. Shot behind the goal. Scatchard made the play. From the blue line now, this long shot. Scatchard was tied up at the side of the net. Kabasha is bumped twice. He's down. And the Leafs bring it back over center ice. Paid into McGillney. He has the Leaf goal. Trying to pass back in front. That was intercepted. And Kabasha steals it for New York. Took his time and lifted one away to center ice. Scatchard was up there, but couldn't find it. Toronto moving in. Thomas Green shot it behind the goal. It's centered. And Osgood down, knocked it away, but he couldn't get back up to get his mitt on it. And it's cleared the length of the ice right to Joseph. Joseph fires it back to center. Tucker is nailed by guess who? Steve Webb is on the ice again and makes a hit, and a penalty will be called against Toronto. The moment they touch it, like this, play is called. And Steve Webb has done it again. Another heavy hit in the center ice area, just as he came from the Islanders bench. Tucker was hit hard by Webb, and then a little bit later, he closes his hand on the puck.
Here's the hit by Webb. This is his... Oh, here's the penalty right here as he catches it, and then as he's got it in his glove, Webb hits him. Webb has got 6 hits in 6 minutes and 40 seconds of play in this game. A little spark can kindle a great fire, and Webb, who was not involved in any of the scoring, has been one of the reasons why the Islanders are ahead in this game.
Webb had no clue that Tucker had caught that puck. He just headed right for him when he left the bench. Tucker caught it, held on. He's going to get called anyway, and he got drilled and called. Islanders attack, looking for another power play goal, and they nearly got it there. Rolled to the far side of Joseph. He's now just getting back up. Joseph struggled trying to find his way back to his skates. The Islanders come out again. They've got 3 power play goals in the game, and look out. They're leading 4-1 and coming up more. A shot by Yashin, didn't get through the second one. Stopped, but not cleared by Toronto. Kept in, and Janssen at the blue line. A pass ahead. Hammerlick getting set to make the play. Joseph has lost his stick and the glove that holds the stick. Got the glove back, but still no stick. Yashin plays it up. Miller got it back. Joseph without the stick again. Low shot, score! John Bates knew he didn't have the stick and kept it on the ice. And the Islanders are running away now.
McCabe got hurt. He was out by the blue line. He threw a stick against the glass, and here he comes. But another power play goal, the 4th of the night for the Islanders. Here's Joseph without a stick and a glove. He gets his glove back on, but doesn't have time to get his stick. And McCabe's lying out there at the blue line. I don't know what happened to him as the puck was tipped into the net by Sean Bates after the Yashin shot. McCabe blocks this shot. And there's where the glove comes off. Let's have a look at the goal. As Joseph playing without a stick, and the shot right along the ice, and you figure if he'd have had a stick, he'd have probably made the save, but without one, an ice hugger's a tough one to stop.
Sean Bates played it well along the ice and by Joseph. As you see him, he got his stick, dropped it, got his glove, figuring that was more important right now. Now he wants to get his stick, but the puck was coming. Still wants to go. It's still inside. There you go.
Well, the Islanders have scored 4 of their 5 from rebounds or in close, as they are allowed to stand around and pick off rebounds. And the Leafs have been pretty tame in front of their own net.
5-1 now. The New York Islanders fighting back in the series. Catcher! 6-1, New York Islanders. Now they're celebrating here in Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. They lost their first 2 games, but they're going to win this one. Now just listen to this crowd for a moment. There we go.
Joseph clears the puck around on the backhand as Aki Berg nearly gets hit with it. The Leafs never get it back. Isbister, the Scatcherd 6-1 Islanders.
Islanders power play goal is first in the playoffs. Goal by number 17, Sean Bates.
2 goals in 14 seconds.
Number 28, Darren Bennett. Number 79, Alexei Yashin. Number 17, Bates.
And the Leafs are pretty wobbly right now, the way the Islanders are coming at them. The power play has been great. Penalty killing has been terrific. Their effort has been superb. The Islanders are attacking again. 1 man back, but this time it's Bianchi Berg who takes it away from Brad Isbister. There's the announcement of Scatcherd's goal, the second one in that 14-second span.
That's number 38, Scatcherd. From 15, Isbister.
6-1. New York Islanders. We haven't played 6 minutes in the third period yet. Webb is on the ice. Look at this. Webb is dropping guys all over the place. And he's going to have a penalty called on Roberts now, as Gary Roberts came back on Webb. And the referee was standing right there, and Roberts is saying, why?
Webb has been a tormentor, if you've ever heard of one tonight. And he has not shown a thing on the stat board, but he has motivated this team with his physical play.
They're chanting Steve Webb again. Gary Roberts in the penalty box. That's a roughing call.
Webb has 2 goals in 60 games in the league play and has not scored in these playoffs, but he certainly has been a thorn in the side of the Maple Leafs tonight. They don't want a little piece of Webb, but he goes into the bench backwards trying to get it. I don't think I've heard a player get so much credit on behalf of the fans, and he's played 7 minutes and isn't in on any of the scoring.
They're changing on the fly like that time, and I think everybody in the building, over 16,000, that's all they can get in here. They'd have 36,000 if they had room. But they know he's on the ice. Every time he steps out, they're chanting, and he delivers. Here's a giveaway. Green, weak shot goal. Green had a chance, but couldn't move away from Van Impe quickly enough. There's Van Impe now joining the rush. Shot to punch in. Comerley in his own zone. Tucker still in his zone. Scatcherd. And Tucker steals it again. Feeds it back to McCabe. He's with Comerley and doesn't wait for anybody, just shoots it away down the ice himself. Roberts, 40 seconds gone, and is minor for roughing. The Islanders on a power play again. They're 4 for 8 in that department. Tough to be the team when you give them power plays like that, and they're wicked on it. This might be another one. Rebound. Kicked back out to the line. Harnstrom played along the line. Islanders spread out in there, looking for their 5th power play of the game. No mercy in the Leafs. Harnstrom had to take it on the backhand. Turns. Shoots it around the net. Miller played it back out. Again from the line. Long shot to Joseph. And no rebound this time. Well, we understand Ron McLean has been busy.
Funny enough, Bob, we've been sitting here watching all the excitement there, trying to remind you that there's lots going on elsewhere, but how could we get in? Here we go. We'll start with New Jersey, Carolina. Brian Rafalski from Gionta and Eliash, and it's 3-0, so Devils home and cool, but here's the excitement. Montreal has rallied in the third against Boston. First, Donald Ledette, that beauty from Koivu. Then Doug Gilmour continues his tremendous role as he scores from Petrov. Petrov does a lot of the work, as you see here, and Doug just sneaks in ever so coolly and goes upstairs. Surrey, the other assist, so 3-3 there.
So the Canadians have come back and tied Boston. Here the Maple Leafs are down, I think, too far. 6-1 against the very spirited New York Islanders hockey team tonight. 2-0 in the series. The Islanders are going to start their creep up on the Leafs tonight with a win here at home. From the blue line, Terrence shot, tipped wide of the net. By the way, Webb is on the ice again. He's along the boards, stopping at the blue line. Gets the puck, moves up, back to the line. Webb knocked Belak down. From the blue line, another shot. Webb right in front of the net to get back at it. And it stopped, and Webb himself is flattened by Belak. It's a 6-1 New York Islanders lead. It's been a tough night for Curtis Joseph. He's had 39 shots to contend with.
And not much help from his defensemen. 5 of the 6 goals have come within 5 feet of the net. And Pat Quinn talked to Joseph for 30 or 40 seconds before pulling him, as if to say, I'd like to take you out of there. We're not going to win this game. Give you a rest. We'll play you tomorrow.
It's 6-1 New York. And we have not hit the 8-minute mark yet in the third period. Isbister checks Roberts behind the goal. It's a tough roll. Roberts strong, but Isbister wins it and gets it out. And the Islanders will move it away down across center ice. Kokoski is in on goal. He tries the shot and Schwab makes his first stop. Knocked down by the goalie, cleared away to the left side and out and down across center ice. And this Pelash at his own blue line, leaving it for McCabe to clear. Cairns shoots it back in. Up comes Blake. Schwab out of the net for Tucker. Oh, Tucker was hit. I'm not going to tell you who it was. It's number 20. That's all he does when he's out there. There's a chance for him to score. But it came by him with the net open on that side. Well, we're getting the scrap. And Tucker's the man throwing. Right hands, and in comes Webb to deal a hit. Now we're going to get a lot going here, I believe. Several have paired off.
Tucker and Blake are the main event. We're going to see whether any of the preliminaries are going to develop into anything. Green and LaPointe are fairly serious behind the net. And LaPointe is on top of Travis Green right now. Tucker going to the penalty box with Blake. They started this. Green and LaPointe started after. And there's Tucker talking to Mr. Blake. These teams play tomorrow night, so there's not much time between the end of this one and tomorrow night's affair.
Game 4, Harry mentions, is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll be here with you. Right now, we'll take a break from here and visit Montreal.
Bob, thanks. A wild one there and a wild one here. Very tight, as you know, 3-3 in the third, and look who gets the go-ahead goal. The amazing Saku Koivu story continues. His second from Chad Kilger, and Montreal leads with 4 to go.
Well, you think that's not a night in that building in Montreal now, just like this one is here in Long Island for New York Islanders.
Well, it started with Tucker and Blake behind the net. And Webb, of course, smacks Tucker into the glass as he has many leaks. And then Tucker will come in front of the net as the puck sits there. And he and Blake go at it. And Tucker jumps Blake. He doesn't seem to be as willing until right now, but Tucker nails him a couple of times. In comes Webb. He gets Green out of the way. So we've got at least 2 penalties on each team, and you have to wonder whether the Green LaPointe penalty will be more than just a fight, because it broke out after the Tucker.
Bill McCrary is the senior referee of the two. Shane Heyer is the second official. And they're still at the penalty box, dictating. Tucker is talking to Pekka. You see Pekka giving him that look. I wonder what he's saying.
Michael Pekka's not paying much attention to him. Whatever he's saying, the 2 captains, Pekka and Sundin, are getting the information from McCurry right now, but the talking between the 2 penalty boxes is still going on. Tucker gets 2, 5, and 10. He was the instigator. There was no doubt about it on that fight. So he's finished for the night.
Blake gets 5 for fighting. Tucker is out of the game. Crowd realizes now what has been called. Hasn't been posted yet. Point also drew a 10-minute misconduct penalty. Also, he got a minor penalty. And Steve Webb has a minor penalty for roughing. But Tucker is out of the game. Montreal gone ahead of Boston 4-3 in that big game. Ron McLean watching that for us. Islanders are leading Toronto here 6-1 with 11:12 remaining in the third period. I don't suppose.
Well, Mike Milbury, the GM of the New York Islanders, has to be enjoying this affair as his team has beaten the Leafs in almost every department. The scoreboard, not the least of which is the most emphatic difference.
3 misconducts came out of that melee. 2 of them to the Leafs, Tucker and Green. Tucker also got a major for fighting and 2 for instigating. Green, 2 roughing, 10-minute misconduct. Webb, a roughing minor. LaPointe, a roughing minor, along with a 10-minute misconduct. And Blake, 5 for fighting.
Well, here's a little summary of what's happened. Parrish, Yashin, Isbister, Coyne, and Van Imp, 2 points each. Joseph's shutout streak was broken. You can see the special team difference. And the Islanders are going to win a playoff hockey game the first time since May 22nd of '93.
Talk about the Islanders specialty teams, Harry. 4 power play goals. They've killed off 6 penalties.
That's the difference.
One of them. A big difference. Shots 41-24. That's another difference. And the difference in the score. We'll see the Islanders get back in the series. 6-1 is the score now. And we're coming up for just past the halfway mark. Save by Osgood. Pokes it away with a stick. Dangerously close to the pipe though. Bulk along the boards. Lost it, trying to swing it back. And they'll have to hustle back. Into the lead zone. That'll be Lume who'll come back for it. The Islanders are changing. Isbister had left from deep in the lead zone and gone off to the bench. 2 followed him. They've changed all around now. And Cairns is back on. With Kavasha there with him. Cairns tried to poke it away and did. Scatcher up over center. And the stick lifted but poked it in behind the net. Islanders attack again. Leading 6-1 and pouring it on. Kavasha off the boards. Looks back to the blue line. Hangs on to it. Nobody can take it from him. Good work by Kavasha. Number 12. For the New York Islanders. The big guy is in after it again. Knocked it loose. And McGillney was there in front of the net. It was cleared by him and out. And down the ice. Right to Osgood. Reichel who had cleared it. Reichel stays in front of the net. There's Hoagland. Reichel though couldn't get a stick on it. Hit Reichel with a skate. McGillney tapped it away. Only goal scored by Toronto, scored by McGillney. The first one of the game. The Islanders have scored 6 in a row. Lifted back inside the Leaf blue line. Both teams changing again. Leafs circle back. That's Carmelet with it. To the line. Domi tapped it to center. Under 9 minutes left in the third period. Domi comes in. Tried to check his man, but missed him. Armstrong saw him come up behind him. Now he's on the attack. Pass to him. Oh, he lifted one high, and Schwab got a piece of that. Hirash. It's cleared out over the line to center. Roberts dumped it in for Sundin coming in. Sundin going to be called against the Islanders. Hirash feeds it behind the net. Schwab has gone to the bench. Now the Islanders get control, and the referee stops the play. Penalty has been called. Somebody on New York with a stick high will go.
Welcome back, viewers of our Toronto-New York Islanders game. The Isles up 6-1, so we want to show you the final moment here in Montreal where the Canadians are clinging to a 4-3 lead. We'll get you right back to Uniondale, but here's Don and John.
We now say hello to viewers all across the country. 54.9 seconds remaining here at the Molson Center. What a comeback in this third period by the Canadians. Down by 2, led by their captain, Saku Koivu, and they lead by 1. Defoe goes to the bench. The Canadians can tell, tried to play it off the glass and out, and it goes out of play.
Well, that's the first thing that's gone right in quite some time for Boston. They won a face-off. Thornton won the draw. Samsonov and teammates moved the puck deep into the Montreal zone with the puck into the stands. It forces the face-off. 6 attackers on the ice for Boston. Will they all be forwards? Let's take a look here. Lapointe, Thornton, Guerin, Ralston, Samsonov, and Murray. 6 forwards, not 1 defenseman. All forwards for Boston.
And it will be Thornton taking the draw against Junot. The draw comes back to Lapointe. Over to Samsonov. His shot hit the post. Oh, that hit the post. Now the puck comes back to Samsonov again. 32 seconds remaining. Thornton for Lapointe. They try and get it out front. Back to the line to Ralston. He shoots through traffic off the glass. Along the boards, Van Allen chips it out to center ice. Ralston is forced back by Dackel. 18 seconds remaining. In the neutral zone, it's Murray picking it up, sliding it ahead to Lapointe. He fires it in. Theodore whips it around the boards. Picked up by Zednik. Zednik puts it off the glass and out. An empty net opportunity. 2 seconds remaining. Junot puts it away.
And it counts. There was under a second to go on the clock. It'll be 5-3 Montreal. Samsonov hit the goal post, or it would have been 4-4. What a comeback by Saku Koivu and the Montreal Canadian Hockey Club. This game looked like it was gone, but the little team that can did.
What a story has been authored this year by Saku Koivu. And the captain ignited this huge comeback. Ron?
Saku Koivu, no doubt the star of the game. That building erupting tonight. What a comeback by the Canadians. And they're ahead in the series now, 2 games to 1. 4th game in Montreal. The 4th game here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern. Curtis Joseph on the bench, relieved of his duties here in the 3rd period by Corey Schwab. It's 6-1 Islanders. We have 7:10 remaining in period number 3. Each won the 2 games in Toronto. But all Islanders tonight in every department. Carmelet is stopped at the blue line. Carmelet flipped it in. Roberts tried to pass it. That's broken up and cleared down the ice. 20 seconds left in the penalty against the Islanders. Leeds trying to move it up. Maybe get something good going in the last part of the game. 6:30 left in the last part of the game. Up the blue line, stopped by Toronto. Side of the net, Roberts comes out with the pass. McCabe had to turn to shoot it. Got to the net. Nice save by Osgood. And then the play stopped. With 6:18 left.
I think Kenny Johnson's going to get a penalty for holding the stick of Ty Domi, who was in the crease, trying to run a little interference as the puck was behind the Islander net. Let's have a look. There's Domi fighting with Johnson, and the puck squirts out, and as they go to the front, Kenny Johnson, without the helmet, grabs Domi's stick right there. And as the puck hit Osgood, Domi was knocked to the ice.
Number 29 Johnson, 2 minutes, holding the stick. Time penalty 13:42.
Holding the stick penalty, the 3rd one called in the game by these 2 referees. .43 shots now by New York. Toronto in the power play in the game, 0 for 7. Long stretch in this series, not yet 3 games old, but nearly. Cawley gets it in, nice one to the corner. Calmly played by Osgood up to the line. Bates takes it in over the Leaf line. Bates comes to the net, tried to pass it in there, but it was picked off, and it'll be cleared back up ice by Toronto. Out of the net again, Osgood. Shot it high behind the goal. Leafs stop it, but they give it away, and the Islanders just bring it out. Bates had lots of time to move to center. Still waits for the change to be made at his bench, and kills precious moments going back. His man, Kenny Johnson, in the penalty box for another 1 minute. 6-1. Convincing win by New York. Guilmay's pass harmlessly out in front of the net from the other side. And the puck is shot to center ice. Kabasha nearly got away. Leafs bring it back in. Again with Gilmay. Went high that time, and too high. Islanders clear the puck. 35 seconds left in the penalty. Maple Leafs move it up to center. Broken up to the Islanders line. 3 of them lined across the blue line. Waiting for the Leafs to carry it in, which they did. Lost it. That is Aki Berg shooting the puck in. And pass behind the net by Peckett and Morton. Kicked to the corner again by McCabe. Islanders penalty almost done. It's over now. Johnson is on the ice. 4:10 remaining in the third period. Maple Leafs move up. Shot in by Sundin. Osgood allowing 1 goal so far tonight. Made 30 saves to this point. 16-10 in the third. Pulling it around is Yashin. Centers it, good play. Well, the shot wasn't so high, it went up high. Webb just kind of scooped it. Then he went in and chased the man and missed him.
Webb and Domi having a little chat here, as Webb took a healthy run at Domi and missed him.
They're talking, that's all, so far. I think everybody has calmed down. I say I think they have calmed down. No penalties here, but he just talked a lot. They have a date tomorrow night, we all know that. Game 4 is at 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow here in Long Island. The Leafs are offside, hitting the line. We have 3:13 remaining.
Well, Peter Laviolette has to be very proud of his team's effort tonight. In games 1 and 2, 44 shots total and 1 goal. Tonight, 43 shots, 6 goals. So his team has been clearly the best team tonight in almost every department. However, it's just 1 loss. That's the way the Leafs have to look at it and regroup and see what they can do tomorrow.
Series will go 2-1 in favor of the Maple Leafs in another 3 minutes and 5 seconds. McCauley dancing in over the line for a shot. That was a way high. Hit the top of the glass. Well over the net.
McCabe, with his move that Mr. Milbury seems to detest, will show you how he does it right here on Scatcher. The old can opener. Jimmy Thompson. When I was growing up as a Leaf fan in Toronto, Jimmy Thompson, one of the great hockey players of the Leafs in the 50s, he used to do that all the time.
Face-off is inside the line, and the Leafs win it. McCauley back there. Relax now. McCauley again. Dropped it. McCauley once more. He'll get a shot again. Way down that time. And Osgood was solid again. His 30th save of the night. Toronto still in there. Here's another one by McCauley that's blocked. And a one-on-one shaping up with Tarkovsky coming in. He had to back off by turning inside the line. Camacho went up. Hit the side of the net. Trying to set it up. Healy will bring it up for Toronto. Through center. Long shot with the glove of Chris Osgood. 2 minutes left. Islanders coasting now. Why not? 6-1 lead. Very solid game tonight by New York. Gave up the first goal. You would think that would shake you a little bit when you're down 2-0 to a team that scores the first goal here in your building. McGillney got the goal. So that's all the Leafs could muster. Up to this point, a minute and a half left. That was back at 7:32 of the first period. From center ice, Carmelet of the Maple Leafs. Down 6-1, and he backs up in his own zone. And the crowd are saying good night to their hockey team. Let's go Islanders. Osgood makes another save.
What a body check Reichel took from Webb at the blue line. And Reichel's going to the Leaf bench in a little discomfort. There is Webb. I don't know whether he's going to get a penalty or not, but Reichel was really decked right at the Islander blue line as the Leafs were rolling, and here it is right here.
He's so solid on his skates. He's been delivering hits all night. People are hitting him and bouncing away from him.
Well, Reichel, who's coming off a bad knee, looks like he took Webb's shoulder right in the face. And there's Webb talking to the Leaf bench with a stick. So he is public enemy number one as far as the Leafs are concerned. But he has really been a factor in this victory for the Islanders.
He only played 6 minutes and 42 seconds. Over the first 2 periods, he had 5 hits. Now he's had another 4 or 5, I'm sure, in this third period.
Played a little more in the third, but
1 minute left now.
1 minute in the third period. 1 minute.
Tarkovsky brings the puck up over the line. A little deflection in front. Corey Schwab watched that one go by harmlessly. It was Isbister who came up to pick it off in front of the net. But he missed the goal with it. Roberts backs it in behind the goal where Osgood plays it up on the glass. Chris Osgood has 32 saves and make that 33 now as he gloves this one with only 36.3 seconds remaining. And they've beaten him only once on 34 shots. That was the first goal of the game, scored by Alexander McGillney. The Islanders have scored 6 since.
Players in both teams stay away from getting in any fights now. It won't be of any value to anyone. The game's over. The Leafs have to regroup, and the Islanders have to feel awfully good about getting themselves back in this series.
Cairns and Domi are still talking. Domi wants some action. He won't get it from Cairns. He just walks away talking. And the linesmen know something is happening here if they don't move in quickly. With only 30.2 seconds remaining, Domi and Cairns are still close. Cairns is the big guy there, 33. And they're on the edge of the circle for this next face-off. And they're still talking. I don't think Cairns is doing much talking. But he's just moving away from Domi.
176 penalty minutes this year for Cairns. And of course, Domi led the Leafs in that department.
30 seconds left now. A 6-1 lead by the New York Islanders. 44 shots pounded at the Leafs' 2 goalies. Joseph, and here in the third period, Corey Schwab. Puck is dropped. Nothing happens. Play is offside at the blue line. with 28.8 seconds left. Domi and Cairns just went their separate ways when the puck was dropped.
Very little recovery time, so you can know that Peter Lavallette's going to take his team, tell his team, we won this one, forget it, let's get on with it, feel good about yourself. Pat Quinn can look at a lot of players.
You're right here, you know. He's a coach, he admits. He's a one game at a time, one period at a time. He's been preaching all year, and I'm sure you're right. He's doing that same thing now. This is one game. We have another tomorrow.
And Mr. Quinn has got a lot of players he can look in the eye and say, we need an improved effort if we want to do anything in this series.
Down is Roberts. Over the line and lost it. This is New York Islanders' first playoff win since May 22nd, 1993. Roberts takes a smack at Tchaikovsky as the horn goes.
And in comes Isbister, and we got an after-the-game battle here.
Oh, man.
And
Domi is in there, too. Cairns is in there also. There's a pile-up over there. I saw one punch thrown on Tchaikovsky. That was by Roberts. And all four officials are there.
Well, it's been a very bitterly fought game. And now the fans who really enjoyed watching the Islanders reappear in the playoffs have had something to cheer about, and it's been a long time, Bob, that this rink's been this full. Oh, and this fight's not over yet, as Roberts, and now Isbister.
Whoa! Isbister is pounding at Roberts, who's down on his knees and has no chance. Sundin has put the grab on Tchaikovsky.
And we see some of the plastic beer bottles coming out of the stands onto the ice.
Everybody who was on the ice at the time, with the exception of Corey Schwab and Chris Osgood, were into this. What does this mean for tomorrow night now?
I don't know. After the game fights are not looked too fondly upon by the NHL brass. It'll be interesting to see the referee's report on what happened in their opinion after. And there is Shane Corson chatting on the Islander bench with Steve Webb, who has been a thorn in the side of the Leaf, to say the least. And this is how it all started. Tchaikovsky and Roberts as the game ended. And then we have everybody in it.
Well, they were talking, Harry, and pushing each other all the way from the Leaf blue line, Roberts and Tchaikovsky. And finally they got down inside the line, and Tchaikovsky was hit. But immediately Isbister jumped in on Roberts. And then everybody got involved. Well, item number one is that the series is closer now. It is 2-1 in favor of the Maple Leafs. The win tonight, convincing win by the Islanders, 6-1.
All right, let's get to the 4-3 stars of our two telecasts. First of all, Don's ready to go, obviously, with his thoughts on Toronto and the Islanders. And big rally, Saku Koivu spearheads it. Doug Gilmour, Bill Guerin are the three stars at Montreal, where the Canadiens win 5-3. Mark Parrish, Brad Isbister, and Alexei Yashin. So we have 90 seconds, Don. Nice, we'll get it in quick.
Well, I have to give the first star. I have to really argue about the first star. I think the first star should be Mike Milbury, because Mike Milbury did a great job. 9 power plays. Sure, there was some of the penalties at the end, but they ran up to score. But when a guy bites like that and does that, and then they come back and give 9 power plays. Have you heard of 9 power plays so far in the playoffs? I guess not. And
well, I'm just looking for the actual numbers, final numbers. I don't think it was that disparate. I think.
You don't understand. What happened was they got the penalties when it counted, not at the end,
right, yeah.
when they ran up to score.
Even early on, it was.
Anyhow, they got 9 power plays. Have you ever heard of a 9 power plays? Not only that, I have to say something about Webb. I know we're in love with Webb and his hits and all that stuff and everything. That's all fine and dandy. But all that stuff wouldn't have happened at the end. When you're going to act like that, you're going to run around. Don't tell me when the score was 6-1, he was turning away when guys wanted to go with him for the good of the club, and the score is 6-1. I hate guys like that. You're going to act like that, stand up for it.
Just to finish the thought about that fight at the end, as long as the fight started before the buzzer, should be no problem. It did go after the buzzer.
Yes, what about Ismister? Third man in.
Right.
He was third man in, he tackled thing. We'll see what happens there.
All right. Peter Mansbridge standing by for viewers Manitoba East. Ian Hannah-Mansing for the West. We'll be back with Vancouver, Detroit later. For now, so long.
This is CBC Television, Canada's own.